So we're going to go ahead and do a review of Vonster's campaign for Monster MD. And what prompted this, because I freely admit Monster MD was not in the queue, was a little exchange between Vonster and Doug TenNapel. Now, as some of you, or I should say all of you should know, Doug TenNapel is the supervillain of Comicsgate, a former Comicsgater and creator of Earthworm Jim who went off the reservation after abusing Comicsgaters and trying to destroy Ethan Van Sciver for daring to have helped the poor man out when he was down on his luck. Because that's how friendships work. Just stab your friend in the back. Doug TenNapel, who stands at 6'10", must be the tallest person who have ever lived who has a Napoleon complex. And that was on full display the other night when he attacked Vonster when Von Klaus asked about the fact that Earthworm Jim 2 didn't make anywhere near as much money as Earthworm Jim 1. Doug TenNapel's big retort was to tell Vonster to go make his own book, which is one of the dumbest challenges I've ever heard, because Comicsgaters are very well known for, if you tell us to go make our own stuff, we will go make our own stuff. And what we make, 9 out of 10 times, is better than what you make. I mean, hell, Von Klaus wrote Graveyard Shift 2. But that's not the only thing. Vonster actually wrote and created his own little world in the Comicsgate book, Monster MD. So let's take a look at Monster MD and see what it's all about. Because this particular book is still in demand on Indiegogo, which means you can still go buy it. And I highly encourage you to do just that, to if nothing else, stick a finger in the eye of Doug TenNapel. Monster MD is a 128-page full-color return to wildly fun adventure comics with heart, soul, and hell, even a spleen. Don't ask why or how about the spleen, I got a guy. Surgical prodigy and underground monster doctor, Dr. Wyatt Black, wants out of the dangerous job of monster mending, but when his invisible assistant, Heidi, is kidnapped by his nightmare, the monster-killing madman that took his arm and ruined his medical career, he must depend upon his paranormal patients more than ever before. Holy moly, 128 pages! That's freaking amazing! Let's take a look at more of this. Oh, look at that cover. Look at that cover. That is a fantastic cover there. Got a couple of other pictures here. I mean, take a look at this artwork. Take a look at the entire design, the look of this. It's great. I mean, here he's trying to provide medical assistance to some werewolf. And I love how he muzzles the werewolf and ties him down so he can get his job done. That's freaking great. I mean, heck, he even has a mystery machine van on top of everything else. And look at this creative idea. They show the invisible woman by having her smoke a cigarette and see the smoke filling her lungs. That is really cool. This is 100% something that back in the day would have made an amazing movie. If Hollywood wasn't completely creatively bankrupt and anti-Comicsgate, it probably would make a great movie. But of everything in this book, this is the one thing I love the most. Vonster actually lays out every person who worked on this book. We have Vonster as a writer, Marco over here from Zombie Tramp as the artist. We've got colors by Tanya Wicker, and we got lettering by Eric Weathers. This is the one thing I find is always missing on comic book campaigns. No one ever lays out who the team is. Don't you remember those old DC and Marvel comic books where very first page they would outline who the writer was, who the artist was, who the inker was? Well, you know what? As a Comicsgater looking to back a project, these are things I want to know too before I buy the book. I mean, I love Marco's Zombie Tramp. Zombie Tramp is a really fun book. And knowing that Marco is actually the artist on this project convinces me to support it even more. Everybody in Comicsgate, take a hint. Follow Vonster's example and include a team section on your campaigns. Now, this is where I'd go over all the perks, but let's face it, this is in demand, so that's really not as important as when you're first trying to establish the book in those first 60 days. What I can tell you is you can get the sketchbook, you can get a digital copy, you can get a signed copy of the actual book, which, with 974 claimed, you know is one of your big winners here. I'd like to reiterate to everybody, if you're going to have a digital copy, bundle a digital copy in with your signed comic book. That way, people can get the digital copy to read right away and have a signed copy of a book they can leave in the plastic as a collectible. You want to sell digital copies? That's how you sell digital copies. Heck, this thing even has a t-shirt. Monster MD by Von Klaus. Made $87,309 with 1,858 backers. My recommendation to you, get over here to Indiegogo, buy a couple of copies of Vonster's book, and let's push that number just a little bit higher. Not just to show your support for Comicsgate, but to also stick a finger in the eye of Doug TenNapel just for being the narcissistic jerk that man is.